We just had some massive news break. As you can see here on the screen, this tweet is from Gina Carano, and it says, "Today is an important day for me. I am filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney." If you've been following me for any period of time, I know that this channel is kind of new, but if you followed me on my past channels or any time before, you know that I covered this Gina Carano versus Disney and Lucasfilm situation very closely. I'm close friends with, some of her close friends, and we have a lot of mutual friends. She's posted me on her Instagram story and stuff. I've always appreciated Gina Carano a ton. And I've definitely appreciated what she stood for even more than, her just being famous actor and UFC fighter and stuff like that. She's always been a person who just simply spreads joy on social media. And she's been a very, very good and kind person to me and a lot of my friends. So this is really exciting news for me. I actually haven't even read through this entire tweet yet, because as soon as I saw the beginning of it, I was like, okay, we need to sit down and make a video on this. And it'd be better if I just reacted to it live. We all kind of felt like this was coming, especially after Gina Carano did that interview with the Daily Wire shortly after being fired from Disney and Lucasfilm. If you don't know what happened with the whole situation, I'm sure she's going to go into it in this tweet, but I guess I should give you a little bit of an explanation what's going on here for anyone who doesn't really remember, or maybe you weren't around during that time period. But Gina Carano was actually an actor on The Mandalorian. So she worked for Lucasfilm, she worked for Disney, she was acting in Star Wars, and people loved her character. She played the character of Cara Dune, but she put in her Twitter bio one time, beep, bop, boop, and kind of mocked the pronoun people, because they are pretty crazy people. So she was kind of mocking the pronoun people a little bit. They tried to force her to apologize. She wouldn't apologize, but she's always been a very, very positive and, just a delightful person on social media. So there's no reason for her to have apologized. But then later on, she kind of compared to what's happening nowadays to what happened back in, the Holocaust days. I'm going to try to refrain from saying that word as much as I can, but they're trying to, force people to be against other people, just like they did during those days. And she made an analogy on I think it was Instagram. And obviously Lucasfilm and Disney did not like that, because headline culture picked it up. And she was, accused of saying that she is basically the equivalent to a Holocaust victim, which she was not saying that. She's just saying they're turning neighbors against each other, just like they did during that time. And if we don't stop it, if we don't stop allowing them to turn us against each other, then we could have something similar happen in the future. That's all she was saying. She wasn't saying that it's me, I'm the victim. She wasn't saying, you are the oppressed. She wasn't attacking anyone specifically. She just had made a statement that if we don't stop what's going on here, then there could be some serious repercussions. And like I said, Gina has always been a very, very positive influence on social media. Anyway, let's get into this tweet from Gina Carano. It seems like a huge announcement, so let's check this out. "After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. She has never, ever done that, as far as I know. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. I have never seen Gina Carano denigrate people based on their cultural and religious identities ever. I've never seen that. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked, because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing and destroying and making an example out of me. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, tweets, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and the occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times." I mean, I can attest to that. She's never once been attacking, she's never attacked anyone on social media. She's always just been lighthearted, and she made statements for sure, but it was always to try and better the world. It was never to put anyone down or anything like that. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to the Jewish people and the Holocaust? That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to try to refrain from saying those words too much for obvious reasons, but that's what I was talking about earlier, where they said she was comparing Republicans to those people during that time period, during that horrible event. I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there ever any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making joy noises from Star Wars. Beep Bob Boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate trans people. Were my questions about mask lockdowns and forced jabs okay to ask and push the subject into the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss these topics at that time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to excuse my freedom of speech? And if you don't know what she's talking about there, and if you don't know who Gina Carano is talking about, her male co-star, she's talking probably about Pedro Pascal and some other ones, because Pedro was very, very open about his, hate for Trump and how he was pro-jab and all these things. Basically the exact opposite from Gina Carano. The only difference is Gina Carano was not allowed to speak her mind, where Pedro Pascal was, because Pedro Pascal was falling in line with his opinions. He was falling in the narrative that they wanted him to fall into. Gina Carano was not. So Gina Carano was being very, polite, and she wasn't attacking anyone, never trying to put anyone down or harm anyone. But Gina was not allowed to speak her mind without getting fired from Disney, from Lucasfilm, from Star Wars. Pedro Pascal was able to speak his mind without getting fired and also get a ton more movie roles going forward, where Gina seems like she was kind of blackballed a bit from Hollywood as a whole. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. I have spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same way on every issue to be their friend and work with them, and I know they feel the same towards me. And that's, they've come out. Carl Weathers, who recently passed away, rest in peace to him. Pedro Pascal has even come out, and I said he's basically the exact opposite to Gina Carano. Pedro Pascal has actually come out and supported Gina Carano, not, saying that I agree with her on her views, to saying Pedro Pascal never said that. I obviously agree with Gina Carano's views. Pedro Pascal has never agreed with Gina Carano's views, but always vouched for her as a person, because she is just a good person, and no co-star has ever said a bad word about Gina Carano. A couple months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform X for exercising your right to free speech, he would like to offer these people legal representation. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought anyone would take on my case against Lucasfilm and Disney. Did I still respond back? I think I qualify, and thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story. Wow, this is crazy. And many others. Turns out, after sending them as much info as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyers and X believe wholeheartedly in my case moving forward. Damn, dude, this is crazy. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and X for giving me an opportunity to bring my case to light. As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I worked so hard for. It has been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me. Backed and encouraged by most powerful entertainment company in the world. Exactly, she's been blackballed for sure. I am grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way, and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you. With love, Gina Carano. And then she puts her contact info there. This is crazy. This whole time I was reading this, and, we kind of expected that Gina Carano would eventually file some kind of lawsuit, or at least I did. I don't know about you. I kind of expected she would eventually file some kind of lawsuit against Disney or Lucasfilm, or at least I hoped that she would. Did I think that she was going to be teaming up with Elon Musk? No, I didn't think that at all. So that's pretty awesome. I've been someone who's been very, very critical of Elon Musk because he claims that, Twitter X is a free speech platform, and yet he has a lot of people banned for simply speaking their minds. But this is, you can't really criticize this. This is awesome that he would even do that. It's one thing to talk about it, to speak about it and say, hey, anyone who's been fired for exercising your right to free speech, I'd like to legally represent you in court, or pay for your legal representation. It's one thing to say that on Twitter. It's a whole nother thing to actually do it, and not do it in, for the public to see. He did it behind closed doors until Gina Carano came out and, announced it here. So I think that's an awesome gesture from Elon Musk to actually move towards free speech. That's really cool. And I'm happy for Gina Carano. I hope this goes really well for her. I really hope that, in the future, she is able to exercise her passion and participate in that storytelling that she says is her passion. I don't know if that's ever going to be able to happen with these larger studios anymore, especially after this situation. I think she probably would have been blackballed anyway, but now that she's actually filing a lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm, I think that might kind of solidify her fate and not being able to work for the larger studios, but hopefully on some independent films, from maybe some larger directors who go independent, maybe like a, Christopher Nolan or something like that, someone who has a lot of pull. Maybe they could get her, on some films. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about this announcement from Gina Carano that she's teaming up with Elon Musk to take down Disney and Lucasfilm, to file a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. Let me know in the comments if you think she has a chance of winning. I'm not even going to act like I'm a lawyer and say that I know if she's going to win or not. I just know whose team I'm on. That's all I know, you know, and I'm definitely on Team Gina. She's always been extremely kind to me. She's always been extremely kind to my friends. And like I said, you know, I'm always on Team Gina Carano. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.